So just a little bit on grading process. So when I'm grading a student's work, this is what I generally do. During the presentation, I generally take notes down on the grading sheet with sort of key words as to what their strategy was or what they're saying that sort of sums up their presentation. That also allows me during parody to actually remember what the student's work was about, and so I can have a discussion with it and pull out details if I need to. I generally do start ticking some of the criteria, so I generally know where it starts to sit in during parody. I collect all my sheets and I go home. I tend to also take photos. I know students upload their work, but I tend to like to take my own photos because I tend to like to grade pretty much that night or the next day, so everything's really fresh. And a lot of the time the students haven't uploaded their work, so it's very difficult to grade. So I've always got my own record. Always got my sheets and my photos. What I do is I look through all the students' work and I make sure I read what I need to and detail all the details, all the drawings, and then I will organise them in what I think the grades were. I reflect back on the parody and what we had agreed, what was the sort of a lower mark, a mid mark and a high mark, and I look at my students' work again and create their own parody, and I grade the criteria, get my mark and put it into Moodle. And I also make sure that the grading criteria is in line with the mark that I've given them. So all the sort of ticks sit in the right mark. If all the ticks generally are in the mid-C, they get a mid-C. If there's a combination of a distinction and a credit, I actually count the boxes. So if there's, for example, 7 in distinction and 5 in credit, it would be like a low distinction. So everything's in alignment. And also that helps with giving the students' sheet back, so it's very easy as to have a discussion with them. If they got a D or they got an SC, it's very clear in that criteria. So it's just make sure everything's covered and consistent, so everything works out usually.